Now, if you've been enjoying the launch of Helldivers, you've probably seen this ship. Now, of course, this is the frigate from Helldivers, and it is brimmed with features. It's super fun to upgrade. It has a really nice interior that keeps a sci-fi, if I would dare say, Star Wars-esque vibe from the actual cockpit cabin area. But we're going to take a look around the internals today, talk about some of its features, and just have a bit of fun exploring it. So now that we've seen briefly the exterior of the Helldivers vessel, welcome aboard the Sentinel of Democracy. And this is my ship. Now, this is the ship that is very low level. As you can see, I'm only level 10 here, so I don't have access to all the cool features that some more of the advanced ships have, but I'm going to show you a few of them from ships that my friends have. So let's start by having a look at this area right here, and this is where you first spawn in. So aboard each one of these ships is racks upon racks of cryopods, and you can see that there is a figure down there, and these are soldiers that have been frozen, cryo sleep sort of status type deal, and when you die or you need a new soldier, another one is brought out of status, you get issued similar sorts of armor, and you're sent down to the planet in your drop pod, or alternatively you can board the ship like this. In this area there's some really cool little consoles that are showing like the thawing process, I'm guessing, of the cells on that menu there. You've got some other little backup freezers. I guess if someone comes out half cooked out the freezer, they stick them back in one of them. I don't know. I'm not too sure what these are. They might just be storage crates. But have a look at the trellis over here. There's also little details on the thing. Manual door override hatch. So there's some sort of sign there on that leads up. Plenty of air vents around. Look how that trellis, you see how the trellis rides up the side there? They've got like a little flag going on in the center of it, and it just creates this really nice industrial look to the hull. Now, if we have a look over here, we've got a danger high voltage, and this looks like it's some sort of pulley system. This pulley system comes actually in use when you have another one of the accessories, like a little bit of a fighter aboard this vessel as well. Now, parked down there, of course, is the fateful stacker truck. Now, the stacker truck is the backbone, I mean, of bringing democracy and supplies to the distant bug lands. And you've got yourself an eagle or a pelican. I'm not too sure which one of them. They seem to both use different names. Perhaps it's just a call sign, but that's like a drop ship that picks the player up in the background. It's a vertical takeoff and landing, as you can see from the clips here, and it does come with various different attachments. So it's like a multi-tool of transport ships. It also has a really nice 40mm sort of a cannon that destroys bugs, but it can occasionally miss. Now, looking down below, we've also got, you can see these little signs that say vehicle bay over on that side, and there's also an eagle bay over on that side there as well. So if we have a look a little bit further down, we're actually standing on an elevator. So you can see the elevator in this little section. There's these little tie-off points as well to the railings as well. So that elevator brings you back up to the upper deck, the playable area, once you've completed a mission. And I do think it's a little cringy when everyone comes up and does an emote, but that's just part of gaming now. So you'll notice that there is a part of these under construction areas here, and there's just lots of crates in my ship at the moment. But if we quickly look at some of my friends' ships, you'll notice that there is different robotics and different types of labs here. So if we come over to the ship management section here and we go to ship modules, you'll see that I only have some of them unlocked at the moment. The first one is the Patriotic Administration Center. So that's what we're standing at here. And as you notice, you can see we can upgrade this with more screens. And these give you a decreased support weapon stratagem cooldown of 10%. And then that decreased cooldown of backpack stratagems by 10%. So, and it tells you what they do. So these are like little perks, so to say. Donation access license, support weapons deploy with a maximum number of capable magazines. So you've got little perks to equip your ship with, and it's a cool little feature, this. So coming a bit further down, we have weapons. Now these weapons are towards the front of the ship that I'll quickly run and show, and you can see exploding shrapnel reduces damage fall off for the center of explosion caused by orbital stratagems. More guns, so you get additional firepower salvos, very cool indeed. 0G breach loading, orbital stratagem cooldown reduced by 10%. So these are all little perks you can use, and I'll show you where they are right now. So if we look out this window, on my ship you can see no weapons at all, but if we go to our friend's ship, well, that's a lie actually, you can see there's one big weapon in the front there. You'll see this addition of Gatling guns, missile launchers, and additional turrets going on right there. And you can see that there's various different ships in this area being sent down. Now, the other thing that I wanted to come to a conclusion with is people were telling me that these are other players' ships in like a multiplayer lobby. But from what I've worked out, this is a representation of other people in this area and what they are doing. So when they're calling in stratagems, it does fire them when people are dropping in to an objective area like down below. you can see that's what it's a representation of what's happening and going on around you. And you can see there's so many ships around us because there's lots of players active in this mission sector. So let's go back to our menu. So before we have a look at the weapons and other equipment, let's go back to our computer screen and bring up the rest of the ship modules. So then we've got the hangar, we've got the orbital cannons like we talked. So we've got liquid ventilated cooling, fills cockpit with breathable liquid, Eagle a stratagem cooldown reduced by 50%. So the Eagle is the fighter. So that's the little fighter you can see on the rack there. And that behind it must be the Pelican, I'm guessing. The two names seem very similar. It seems like they use them. Yeah, so I'm guessing this is the Pelican on the ground, that little landing craft, and the Eagle's the ship at the front there. Pit crew hazard pay reduces Eagle return time by 20%, so they can call in that. You can see it's also added the addition of weapons, and if we have a look at some of our friend ships, you can see that there's lots of weapons and equipment laying around depending on their upgrades that they've got here. Increase the number of Eagle stratagems used by rearm by 1. And then finally we've got the bridge area. So the bridge area reduces deployment time of orbital stratagems, so you can see that it increases the crew capacity in this area as well and adds more monitors, increasing enemy ping radius on minimap by 50 meters. And we've got power steering, improved steering of Helldivers pods during deployment. So then we've got the engineering bay. So the engineering bay is where I've got the under construction. But the engineering bay has various different weapons and tools that are being constructed. And these increase the health of sentry turrets. And they removes the deployment time for emplacement stratagems. So very cool. Then we've got the robotics workshop on the other side. Now this reduces the deployment time of all sentry stratagems, and this increases the ammo, the next upgrade, by 50%. And then finally we've got the high quality lubricant. Sentry rotate towards new target more quickly. So they're all very subtle upgrades, but they're nice little additions to this ship, and this ship is a really compact design. So coming through to this area here, just have a quick look at the ceiling. You can see how it's got this lovely sort of padded sort of insulation, I'm guessing, leading into that monitor area there. You've got the various different people working on the ship.
The more it becomes clear that our enemies will never accept our way of life.
So they are filled with bits of democracy.
Super Earth really is the best place to live in the entire galaxy, isn't it? Sometimes when I can't sleep,
just adding to the experience, really. A little drill out there in the construction area. Coming over here is where you can equip your suits and the weapons. So there's some weapons on the rack. This is just sort of a generic layout. And then over here you've got a Super Earth computer. So in the armory here we can add and change our weapons, but that's all pretty straightforward, and that doesn't really add or take away from the ship. But you can make upgrades to these areas. So you can see how my area is dead basic. There's not much going on, just boxes and storage. But if you have a look at friends' ships, you can see the added sort of consoles and systems. Now coming back up here, the final thing to have a look at is this main circular table here in the centre. I just love how it's got this dark, dimly lit lighting. It feels very Star Wars-esque in here. I don't know if you guys agree with me. They've got like this sort of sci-fi, Sith-y sort of vibe going on. We've got some banners that are draped down, and then we've got that lovely ring that goes around the top of that area. Now in a lot of these tours, I'd really like to pilot this ship, but sadly we can't. So let's actually have a look what's going on here. So when we select a mission, it takes us to the new location in our ship. And we get a nice cinematic as well. You can see how the ship is moving. Look at that. Yeah, it just feels awesome. It gives you that real sense of speed and power. So if we go back to the console now and we head to a completely different planet, and we can initiate the FTL jump, and we'll get a lovely little sequence like this. We'll leave the planet that we're on, and then we head over there and we get a lovely external view of the ship as well. So yeah, a really beautiful, well-designed ship. And the final icing on the cake is the hell pods. And I think these hell pods just look so beautiful. Look at these. When you step in, you lock your feet in. It's almost like a Superman or Batman thing, isn't it? And then you select your location. But this is what this game is all about, this next stage. Once you select these stratagems, add some weapons in there, just put a bit of a mix in. Listen to the timing of this music. Like this timing, this sort of cinematic, it's so dramatic. It just gets your blood pumping every time you're about to launch on a mission. Something that Helldivers has got right here is the cinematic sort of presence. It gets you riled up, ready for a mission, and it launches you straight into it. Anyway, I'm about to play another round. So I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed a tour of the ship, had a look at some of the possibilities, and I will see you next time. If you did enjoy this video, hitting that like button would really help though.